Jake, welcome to the first ever wrestling rabbit hole show.
Yes, the
Not
first
a podcast.
ever anyone will see.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Second attempt. Second attempt. First ever.
Yeah.
Okay. Um. Well, let's talk about it. What are we doing? What are we trying to do here?
We're just trying to give some wrestling news and takes on some things in a shorter amount of time than some of these interview podcasts that are going on.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is something that we've talked about for a while. Wanting to wanting to um explore this what do you even call it? Explore this world a little bit to hopefully get wrestling rabbit hole a little more attention, and then bring light to some of those things as well. But also, I think hopefully we can provide value. I think that's the foundation of like every decision we made since we've started, IAWC, and since you've done like some of the rabbit hole things. Is like our whole goal is only to provide value. Um, So we're going to try to do this in a way that we think maybe adds a little bit of value, and also is hopefully, a little entertaining, or can be interactive and help reach people who are interested in the rabbit hole, or who are interested in wrestling, or who are interested in, basically kind of whatever we talk about. But, hopefully bringing more people into that.
Yeah.
So it's a different side of us. Most people interact with us only as coaches. Hopefully, they get to see a little bit different side of us. Um, you know, maybe they feel a little more. Maybe we will feel a little more approachable. I know we get that feedback sometimes that
Yeah.
maybe we look like the grumps in the corners.
Yeah.
But
Well,
um,
I talk almost zero, so
that's true. Mr. Red called you out on that
he
this weekend.
did. He definitely did.
Um, but we, hopefully, this is something that we can use as a way to add value to the wrestling community. So let's give it a try. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, all right. This is going to be kind of broken up into segments. That's kind of how this is going to run, right? So we're going to try to treat it more like a show than maybe like an interview podcast, like we talked about. So our first segment every week is just going to be in the news. So let's talk about what's happening inside the wrestling world. Um, and unfortunately, uh, our first in the news story isn't a super good one. It's not. We're talking about Campbell wrestling. So, um, you want to introduce kind of like what happened, and then we can kind of talk about it.
Yeah. So I think it was just yesterday that Campbell decided to go from 9 to 3 total scholarships, and they it says they plan to pressure these guys to leave by not allowing scholarship athletes to compete on the team, which is the weirdest phrase that I've heard so far.
Yeah, of all the ways that programs have been dropped over the year, whether it's giving them a final season, or it's the Stanford situation where they kind of competed on their own for the year, or even as bad as like the UNO situation was back in the day, where they got a call at their national championship party, hey, your program's dropped. you know um of all the ways to like pull this decision out, this one is the weirdest
Yeah.
by far. um you're cutting funding, you're discouraging people competing, but you still have the program, I guess. I don't know. It's super,
Yeah.
super weird.
Well, the it's saying the people that are on scholarships are not allowed to compete on the team. What, like, you would think it would be the opposite,
Yeah,
right?
well, it's just saying they're going to pressure them to not compete.
Yeah, what I mean, like, still, that's
Yeah, and this is all
no,
alleged, by
it's
the way.
oh yeah, I guess it says they plan to pressure them. But no,
Yeah.
they plan to pressure them to leave by not allowing scholarship athletes to compete. So the
Oh,
pressure is on them
ooh,
to leave, not on them competing.
ooh.
That's what this
Okay.
that's what this statement says.
Dang, I misread that.
Yeah,
That's
so the pressure is on them to leave by not allowing them to compete when you're on scholarship.
that's super
So
random. That's
so
super random.
strange.
So here's what's weird to me about this is like, look, I think we've all been waiting for this to start. The name, image, likeness situation has definitely changed how we feel about the security of our sport. And maybe not en masse, but definitely me. And I know definitely you from talks that we've had and some of our other coaches around. Like, I don't feel like the sport of wrestling is in a super safe spot right now while the NCAA goes through this name, image, likeness situation. I'm not saying this is the end of the world. I'm not going scorched earth on this, but um, I that's just how I feel. Um, but I didn't expect it to be a program like Campbell that would go first because don't I could be wrong. I don't pay attention very much, but I don't think the Camels are crushing football or basketball. You know what I mean? So I didn't think that sports that weren't super relevant in D1 football or basketball would get a would have like this trickle down kind of situation where they're like, well, yeah, I mean, why? Like, I just thought they'd be fine. If you're operating on a shoestring budget, you're still going to be on a shoestring budget, able to operate. You know what I mean? So I'm really confused by this one.
Yeah.
You know, I thought it would be different programs first. I really did.
Yeah. Well, and we'll see what happens because I guess it's not set in stone yet because it just says they want to do this, right? Or is it done?
I don't think it's done from what I read. Um,
Yeah, it just says they want to cut. So the want makes me think it's not set in stone yet. So maybe they'll change their mind or something will happen.
no, gut. So made an unexpected and heartbreaking announcement that the administration decided to gut the nationally ranked wrestling program next year. So this is in effect next year.
Next year. Yeah. Okay.
So I guess they have this year, but then after that, it's in effect. Um, super interesting. What do you do if you're a coach in that situation?
Uh, finish finish the year and then I I don't know. Look look for another job. I have no idea. I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but well, do you encourage your kids to leave this year, or do you try to freaking throw it together for one more year?
Um, I mean, it would. I think it would probably be wrong not to give them the option to like start looking right away.
Yeah, because I mean, I imagine that the coaches are now looking right away.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
I mean, obviously, a head coach has to go down with the ship on this one for this year, but I don't think anybody's wanting to. I don't think anybody's wanting to have that position now.
no, definitely not.
Could be wrong though. I mean, I could be wrong. I could be talking out of turn, but I don't know. Sad news out of Campbell. Sad news out of Campbell for sure. They've got some really good kids on their team. Their heavyweight was an All American last year,
Yeah,
so
and I know at
you
least
know,
one guy from Iowa's there now. Literally first year.
yeah. So
So
yeah, I don't know. I don't feel super great about what is to follow this, but
no.
hopefully, hopefully it's just this. Hopefully it's just this.
Yeah,
So I don't know. I guess we'll keep an eye on it. Let's see what comes of it, and I'm sure we'll get more news as it comes about. But hopefully those guys are able to find a place to go. I think the most frustrating thing about this whole process is, and I know I'm getting this feedback from our kids who are getting recruited, nobody has any answers, and they won't until April. As in terms of like what's actually going to happen with this like 30-30 situation or stuff like that. So, um, really weird time to be getting recruited. And unfortunately, it doesn't sound like there's a ton of information out there about the likelihood or the not likelihood, or do you have to adopt? Do you not have to adopt? How do you stay D1, or do you have to go mid? You know what I mean? Like, um, we've got a lot more waiting ahead, and I'm not super excited to see programs making decisions about this before we even have like actual information.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be a tough however many years till somebody figures something out. And
Yeah,
I don't know what that's gonna be yet, but
yeah, no. Well, and I know we talked about this a little bit ago, but it sounds like these athletic programs are starting to actually rank. They're starting to rank their athletic programs. So like most important, second most important, third most important, last place. So the chopping block just kind of like goes in order, you
yeah.
know. So it'll be interesting to see where wrestling programs fall on this. And
Well, I mean, I don't think there's a single one that would be at the top.
no,
Not
it can't.
not yeah. I mean,
It
they're
can't.
just I mean, Penn State probably pulls in the most money, but it's still probably not as much as football. I have no idea.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even if you look at like the top 20 teams last year, right? So what program inside the top 20 doesn't isn't in a Power 5 conference that has good football? You know, it would be your Ivy leagues, and then if there was a like it'd have to be like UNI or South Dakota State or North Dakota State, like these programs that are um like in the FCS,
It's
not
like
the
D1
FBS.
AA or whatever.
Yeah, the D1 AA.
Yeah.
So, but even those programs, they care about their football program. They care about their basketball program. Those are the TV deals from those things are what's going to make people. That's what makes your athletic department money.
Yeah.
So, you know, I guess the fix is either more money for TV deals for wrestling, so they have to care about it, or things are going to get probably a little weird.
Yeah. It's unfortunate.
Yeah. So I'd put I'm not panicked at all. I'm not panicked at all, but I have definitely dipped into like I'm 60% worried, 40% not worried.
Yeah.
And it's going toward full panic. It's not going back toward like, no, we're good. Life
Yeah.
is good. So I don't know. I guess we're gonna have to hold our breath till April and then make any adjustments that the sport needs to make after that.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
So
Sucks.
all right. Next in the news.
Yeah.
Next in the news, USA Wrestling's preseason nationals is next weekend.
Correct.
This past weekend, they had to send a mass email out about some confusion around the registration process. And it sounds like most of this confusion is that it's a grade based tournament with age caps.
Yes.
Right? And then I know follow up emails were sent out to certain kids who had to verify what grade they were in. So I think this is a two-part problem for USA Wrestling right now. I think the first part is that kids are being held back on purpose. I don't have a problem with it. I really don't. I think families get to do what they want to do. But then the second problem is that you made a grade based tournament with age based rules. So if I'm a fifth grader, but I'm a young fifth grader, and I meet the requirements for the age of being of third and fourth grade, a parent who doesn't really know what's going on might accidentally register for them age because USA Wrestling is typically an age based event, right? So I'll say on both sides of this, there was probably ignorance some people maybe with a little malicious intent, and then also other people who are genuinely like doing what they think is best for their kid and holding them back for a year. Um, and really all we're talking about here is that they made it way too complicated.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Way too complicated. Just
So
make everything age based, and I just don't see the issue. I really don't.
yeah, so I guess let me just read just so like everybody has an idea of what they're saying. It's been brought to our attention that there are quite a few wrestlers registered that entering a division they are not eligible for. Please read the statement below. This is a grade-based tournament. You must register your wrestler for the grade they are in during the 24-25 school year. We have max ages a wrestler can be in each grade division. If a wrestler is too old for a grade division, they must move up to the next grade division. So here's the thing though, like this is you have to register for the grade you're in. But if you're too old, you can get bumped up. But we have a heavyweight, 5th and 6th grader who is too heavy for 5th and 6th grade. They won't let him bump up to 7th and 8th grade. It's such a weird
Yeah.
it's such a weird dynamic complex situation that is just easily solved with moving to an age-based tournament. Like it doesn't need to be it doesn't need to be this.
No. I mean, it'd be. I mean, most parents know how old their kids are, and you just sign them up for that age if it's an age based tournament. It's easy. It's easy.
Well, I think the other side too is like, listen, if you register for the wrong division, no harm, no foul as long as you get it corrected before the tournament starts. But if your kid goes out there and wins the wrong division, the, there's got to be an accountability process built in here somewhere. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And I think this is, I would say that this is probably more of an issue for like 6, 8, 10, maybe even 12U, because maybe some kids aren't really well known, some stuff like that. But like by the time you're 14, 16, USA Junior, it's probably not gonna happen. You know what I mean? But um, I would hope that more of these are ignorance based than malicious, and people were just confused that it's a grade based tournament, but also an age based tournament, but also we can kind of put you where we want to put you tournament.
Yeah. For sure.
So I don't know. I mean, I would employ them seriously to just make it an age based tournament. I don't see any need for grade based tournaments outside of your high school season.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't. It just seems like I could be missing something, but it seems like such a simple adjustment to make everything simpler, which is typically better.
It's definitely harder for it to break down. Um, but I've even argued this. I would rather so like the state of Iowa has 3 classes. Georgia has how many? 7.
7, at least. Yeah,
7?
I'm pretty sure still 7.
So I would rather see Iowa go back to one class and be freshman, sophomore, junior, senior than I would uh, keep 3 classes and be completely open. And I know people like, well, then who's the best? But you have that argument anyway,
Yeah, there's
right?
3
So,
divisions.
yeah. And realistically, I would even be okay with like calling it 16U and whatever else you want to do. Like if you want to follow USA Junior guidelines, and then allowing your 16U eighth graders to compete. So you could be realistically a 5-time state champ if
Yeah.
you were eighth grade, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. So you're in the USA Junior division for 3 years. You're in the 16U division for 2 years. But I would rather see that than having 10 classes, 7 classes, 5 classes, 3 classes. You know, um, if you want to increase opportunity, that feels like a better way to increase opportunity to me than just adding classes and divisions and going on and on and on and on. Um, personally.
Yeah, that's interesting. I have never thought about splitting the grades of a state tournament
Yeah.
or the
Well,
ages
so
or
like,
whatever.
yeah, Illinois has I think they have a fresh soft state tournament for kids that didn't qualify for actual state.
Is it done by their governing body though?
I have no idea.
Because I know in Georgia there was a freshman sophomore state after like season was over,
Yeah.
done by a third party or whatever.
Yeah, that could be
You
true.
know,
I mean,
so
that could be true. I have no idea.
um, yeah. I don't
But I
know.
don't know. I guess what we're trying to say is like, why wouldn't you just do age based?
Correct. I don't.
It
If
just feels better.
yeah, if somebody has an answer, let us know. Age based seems like a simple solution or a simple way to do this at
Yes.
the USA Wrestling level.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, I mean, all their other tournaments for the most part are.
Yeah,
Um, I don't get the appeal. I don't like it. I don't love grade based tournaments at all. Just age based. And then if people want to keep their kids home, they can keep their kids home. Easy. Boom.
yeah.
Done.
Because your age
So
is your age.
yeah. All right, moving along. Next in the news. Next 2 weeks are very good for freestyle Greco and girls wrestling. We have two big world championship events going on. So where are they at in Albania? I believe they're in Albania.
Um, yes, Tirana, Albania, October 28th and 31st is the senior worlds.
Yeah, and then the week before that is the U23. So we got the U23s and the seniors non-Olympic weight class world championships over the next 2 weeks. And there's actually some really good storylines coming out of this because I think, listen, I'm not going to speak for the guy, but I think this is probably the last time we see Jordan Burroughs wrestle. And we now know this is definitely the last time we see David Taylor wrestle.
Yeah, he has said that he's going to worlds for sure and that he's retiring after.
Yes. Yes.
So, which
So,
is probably a good choice for someone who just took over a program.
yeah, well, and for what he's getting paid, those guys are going to expect full commitment and effort toward being a coach.
Yeah,
You know, so hopefully that the public is able to appreciate these two dudes one more time before what looks like their careers kind of come to an end. I know I'll be watching. I'll be watching during preseason nationals.
yeah,
Like, I'll stay up all night, watch these 4, 8, 12 guys 12 athletes compete. The girls are there as well.
yep.
Stay up, watch these guys compete, and then hang out at Hy-Vee Hall all day with our youth kids. But um, inside of this tournament, I think everybody has to be super excited for the 92 kilo bracket.
Absolutely. There's three guys that are the best.
Yeah,
The
there are
best.
3 guys in the bracket who are multiple time world
Yeah.
champions.
Taylor, um, the
Iranian.
Iranian, I still don't remember his name, and then Sajalayev.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. So you have one of you. So you have one of the greatest Russian wrestlers of all time, one of the best U.S. wrestlers, and then you have just a super solid, multiple time world champ from Iran, all in the same bracket. So I am super excited for those brackets to come out. I don't know what they need to do, but they need to set it up so we at least have the possibility of 2 of those guys being in the finals. Don't put all 3 on the same side. That's
a
tragic. I
tragedy.
don't
Yeah,
look.
it's a tragedy.
There's like fixing brackets so guys have an easy path or whatever, and then there's like setting a bracket up to be the most entertaining that it possibly can be. And you know, if that means Taylor and Sajalayev are on the same side and the Iran is on the other side, I'm fine with that. I don't care any combination of that, but please put at least one guy on the other side.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, you have to. You have to.
Yeah.
And I have no idea if even because I mean I don't know if they're going to get any seeding criteria. You know what I mean?
I mean, I don't think two of them. I don't. That's what I'm saying though.
Yeah.
Like, who cares?
Yeah. I mean, they're not. Yeah. So,
You know, you have to seed them one, two, three.
yeah.
You just have to. Just get it out of the way. Say,
But I,
yeah, we know.
but I
We
mean, if,
know.
yeah, but they're just not going to. Otherwise, the point system is just null.
Who cares?
I agree, but they just can't do that.
They can do whatever they want.
They can, I don't know. No.
Listen, but look, let's not pretend like, let's not, we watch the Olympics. I mean, Jamalov might have gotten a gift. Jamalov might have gotten,
During the match.
yes.
During the match. That is way different than bypassing all point systems that are set up to seed you.
Bro, they bypassed the actual point systems to score points.
No.
What
They
are you
cautioned him.
talking
They
about?
caught it was a valid caution for a point that let him win the match off a challenge.
Disagree. Disagree.
It
But
was because I mean the other dude. I mean, I guess I can't say for sure, but the other dude had a good chance to win as well. The tournament.
absolutely. My point being
Yeah.
is that they're not afraid to do a little black hat work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's. I just feel like it's harder to bypass the points that everyone can see on your website versus making a call in a match that's in general subject to change based on who's looking at it.
How about this?
No,
We'll go seeding based on number of world titles. How about that?
why? Just that's not how it's set up.
That's how it's set up.
It's not how it's set up. Yeah,
It's a one-time rule change.
you're dumb.
So, is there
Okay,
anything else you're looking forward to that week? Obviously, I'm
I
partial
mean,
to U23s, the 92 and 97 kilo guy, John Gunderson, and then Big Mo. Both guys are from our area.
yeah,
I'm excited to see how they do. Um, but I don't know, man. Anytime you get a chance to see some of these guys compete, I think it's freaking awesome.
yeah.
So,
Who do you think is going to corner DT?
uh, I don't know, but to wrap up, all of it in a nice little perfect bow, happy ending. Um, I'm hoping that someone from Penn State is involved a little bit, just as like you can separate your competitive career from your future coaching career.
Yeah,
And I think
I mean, would you include Kennedy in that, even though he moved with him?
he's in a different spot. He was a Kennedy was a hired coach. Never went through the program, never got recruited. Like Kennedy and Taylor are related because David married his sister,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
Kennedy was only there for like 2 or 3 years, right?
I actually have no idea,
Yeah, I
but
mean he wasn't there that long. Um, and then being related to Taylor, I can't imagine anybody I can't imagine of those three guys that they left on super bad terms or
yeah,
without being able to logically make a like, okay, yeah, this kind of makes sense. I understand.
yeah.
And
So you're hoping to see a Kale or a Cunningham or somebody like that in the corner.
or even in the second,
Yeah, well yeah, still.
you know.
Yeah,
But
just who
yeah,
someone yeah.
I think that would be uh wholesome. I've gotten soft in my old age. I've got two little girls now. So, you know, um I'm you know, you can't really say David Taylor without bringing up Cale Sanderson.
Yeah. That's
So, hopefully for like if you can write the story, hopefully that they can have a wrap up moment here in terms of like Dave's competitive career and move forward, or maybe they've already had that. I have no idea. But I like the idea of this being about Team USA and not Oklahoma State or Penn State.
that is true.
So,
That is true.
but I also like Bill and I also like Joe Russell. So if they're back there, I'm rocking with it.
Yeah, for sure.
good humans, man.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, I think that about does it for the news. So,
Yeah.
I guess we'll keep an eye on those things and maybe report back. So, um, what's next?
We got the weekend recap. So, what tournament did we go to?
Yeah. So the weekend recap is probably going to be a little different than our news section. What we're going to do here is we're going to review the tournament we went to and try to give it a score based on some of the criteria we have. So, our criteria that we're using to review will be things like where the tournament was at, how easy it was to get to, things like that, the schedule of the tournament, level of competition, things like weigh-in procedure, and then like we're even gonna talk about, how were the concessions? Could you bring food in? Could you not bring food in? Things like that. So um, it'll be one cumulative score at the end after we talk about it, and you guys are gonna have to just deal with it. So let's get into it. Let's talk about location first. So Super 32 is hosted in Greensboro, North Carolina.
Yep.
So how
Yeah.
was travel? How was the city? Food options, workout options, all kinds of stuff like that.
Yeah. City is good. It's a nice place. It is sunny there and warm, which is good for people from Iowa. The thing that's not good for people from Iowa is that it takes so long to get there, or you have to get multiple flights typically. So, I mean, it was a 15-hour drive for us, which is super enjoyable. Super enjoyable to get down there. But I mean, objectively, it's a good place. Lots of restaurants around, lots of different places you could probably go work out. I mean, we were able to lift, and the guys were able to get their weight down. Um, Subjectively, don't like the distance. Don't like the distance.
Yeah, distance is gonna be tough, but I guess for me, I'm looking at like, okay, how easy is it to get to? And realistically, the drive wasn't too bad. Um, you know, my wife's side of the family is from Roanoke, which is only 2 hours north of Greensboro. So it's the exact same drive going back to her parents' place, except the last 90 minutes as it is to go to Greensboro. So I'm pretty comfortable, pretty familiar with the drive. But it's a haul either way. 15 hours just isn't super easy. And like you said, if you're going to fly, you have a layover somewhere. From there's just no direct flight into Greensboro generally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, um, and it's just one of those things where like it's kind of annoying to fly into Charlotte and then fly to Greensboro. Like it's a 30-minute flight, but it adds 4 hours to your travel time because you got to get there early. You got to fly. You got to deplane. You got to find your next place. You got to make sure you got time for your layover. All kinds of stuff like that. Like I don't want to be too picky on it because I think everything else was pretty good. I like the venue. The Coliseum has plenty of space. Day two gets a little cramped, um, but it's 30 mats. There's plenty of space. There's plenty of seating. There's no issues with you know um, there's no issues with like security guards or anything like that. It's just overall pretty good location, I would say, and I definitely didn't mind the weather. The weather was great, no hurricane damage. So
Yeah.
you know, I'm pretty content with the location. It's okay.
Yeah. It's
Like
fine.
the only thing that makes it better is if it's just closer to where we are, but
Correct.
then that's the same problem for everybody else,
Yeah.
right? So, but I guess if it could be in Charlotte, it'd probably be a little bit more. I would have less issues because you can fly straight into Charlotte,
Yeah.
but there might be other problems there. So, all right, schedule of the tournament. How'd you feel about how the tournament was run?
Um, I like the split sessions. I do like that. It gives it gives the athletes a chance to not be there all day, which is, one of the good things that came out of COVID. A lot of these tournaments split the groups to have less people in the building, which I think is nice. It makes warm ups a little more roomy. Um, Split sessions, I think, are good. And if you don't have somebody in the second session, you get to just head out, you know? So, or in the first session, you get to sleep in. So, I like the split sessions. Um, with that, though, they kind of try to jam everything into that session. So a lot of matches come up quick, which can be an issue for some guys.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. I think split sessions are great. Um, I would rather the burden for a long day be on the coaches than it would be on the athletes for sure. And I think our kids enjoyed this year more than maybe they have in the past because they were able to actually, compete in the morning and then go home or go, they went out to eat. They had a good meal, they went back, they relaxed, things like that. But I agree. So, look, Super 32 is a marquee tournament. You know what I mean? It's promoted as the toughest high school folk style tournament on planet Earth, in the universe. You know what I mean? That being said, it's a tournament designed to figure out the champ, and that's it. If you lose pretty much any time before the round of 16, you're not cooling down. You are
No.
off the mat, called to a mat, back on the mat. Off the mat, called to a mat, back on the mat. I mean, the backside of that bracket, you are sprinting through. And for what the tournament is, for what the tournament represents, that type of setting definitely causes a different level of stress for kids, for sure. Like, it's something they really, really care about. And then, there are kids who are wrestling 3 matches in under 45 minutes. Um, and it affects their performance. There's just no way for it not to. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's one of those things where, like, the things I like about the tournament affect things that I don't love about the tournament. So,
Yeah.
I like that it's a split session, and I like that we're out of there by 5 p.m. on Sunday. I really, really like those things. But it's definitely at the expense of what's best for the athletes while they're competing in their session. Um,
Yeah.
you know, even if you look at the youth side of things, which is a Sunday tournament only, right? Our this happens every year, but our middle school kid ends up wrestling his first match and then not wrestling again for like 2.5 hours. And then wins that match. So he's got like another, 90-minute break, loses, but then wrestles 4 matches in the next 90 minutes.
Yeah.
And his last 3 matches, we just went and sat down kind of like close by the mat. And within 10 minutes, he was assigned again.
Yeah.
So it turns into it goes from a really slow burn to your whole house is on fire very fast.
Yeah. Um, with the quick scheduling, do match times fit in this area? Like, they do 3 different match times for high school.
Uh, yeah, but they all equal. Well, they all equal 5 or 6 minutes.
Yeah, it's just I know that's something that we've brought up in the past where, like, okay, it's the best folk style tournament, but the first day is not a full match for anybody.
Correct.
It's 2, 1.5, 1.5, and then if you lose, it's a 1-2-2,
Yeah.
and then there's
Well,
not.
but
Yeah.
I was gonna say, but even remember like a couple years ago, it was a 2-1-1.
Yeah, that was way worse. That was way worse but it's just a weird it's just strange. I get it that it saves time, and that if they are trying to determine just the champ, then the champ wrestles 2-2-2s when they're supposed to.
Yeah, yeah, no, for
Except for
sure.
the first day. They don't.
Correct, correct.
So I don't know. It's a little strange.
I mean, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I guess because I'm kind of there with you, where my thing is like, hey, man, if you want to promote yourself as the marquee tournament, I would expect you to hold yourself to the highest standard and the closest realistic um, representation of the sport.
Yeah, I mean, if we look at
Makes
Fargo,
most
which is kind of the high school national,
Yeah, it's the
uh,
freestyle.
yeah, and every match there is a 3-3 for junior and a 2-2 for 16U,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yep.
and there's never any variance,
No. No.
but it's
God, could you
also
imagine? Could you imagine a 90-90 for the 16U kids on the backside, or a 1 minute and then
a
a 2 minute?
1-1. That'd be terrible.
That'd be so bad. That'd be so bad. But I guess we can be nitpicky a little bit, but
Yeah.
um, like I said, the things that I really, really enjoy about it affect the things that I didn't love about it. So I guess what's the alternative? We stay there longer and wrestle full 2-2s, or we get home at a decent time on Monday. I don't know. I don't know. It still is a preseason tournament,
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
but
So,
I mean, it has massive financial implications. It's got massive financial implications. The kid who wins Super 32 120 is probably worth real money now.
yeah, with the NIL stuff.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
know. Yeah. Well, I mean, look, the Forest and Bassett haven't committed anywhere yet, right? Like, where are they going? Where are they going? Well, they're going to go somewhere who's probably really going to take care of them.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So I don't know. It'd be
Yeah.
interesting.
Well, I mean, what do you want to do? Level of competition or weigh in procedure next?
Let's do level competition because I
Okay.
think this
So
is the easiest
speaking
one.
of Bassett and Forest,
Yeah. Yeah.
the level of competition is obviously really high.
It's super high.
It's
Like,
very good.
yeah, yeah, it's super high, and it's also how do I say this? I don't think you'll ever find a bigger variance of nationally ranked kids from different weight classes at the same weight class.
You mean they typically wrestle something else during season and are at the same weight for this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't think that there's a tournament that exists where so we can just use 120 as example. There's a real possibility that 13 pounders grew. They're still ranked at 13 who are now wrestling 20. 20 pounders stayed at 20 and 26 pounders came down to 20.
Yeah.
Like there's a very, very, very strong possibility that there's multiple nationally ranked wrestlers from 3 weight classes all at the same weight class.
Yeah, there's not a place to run and hide. There's not a weight. There's not a weight to
No,
run and hide at. You're catching
no,
somebody.
the only ones I would even I would even give a little less than 2 are some of your big ones, but that's because football season exists.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And most of the biggest kids are playing football. But
And it's a southern located tournament.
yeah, yeah, but those brackets are still super tough. They're tough
Yeah.
as nails.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you still got to beat some really, really good guys to win that tournament. Doesn't matter what bracket you're in. Um, but yeah, this is the easiest one. The level of competition is crazy.
Yeah. So,
It's,
yeah, move it
I
on.
mean, that's a 10 out of 10.
Yeah. It's solid. Um, weigh-in procedure.
Dog water.
Yeah, not a fan.
I I have real issues with the one time day before weigh-in at this point. Um, and I don't know. Look, here's my thing. I have this battle inside of my head all the time. We'll just make it 2 hour weigh-ins. Well, I understand logistically that's really hard, but does that stop kids from doing the super weight cut? Probably not. So is that safer or is that more dangerous? You know what I mean? Like, if a kid's gonna cut a ton of weight, him having time off the scale is probably actually safer.
Y-
However,
yeah,
look, man, I guess where I'm at is like, hey, it's our job as coaches, as parents, as all kinds of stuff to prepare our kids for the real world, right? And outside of Super 32, you don't have you don't have this anywhere else. You really don't have it anywhere else. Preseason nationals, Super 32, you'll have this one-time weigh-in night before, but like it doesn't exist in the real world. It doesn't
yeah.
exist at all.
Well, and it is partially to accommodate the amount of people they have to weigh in.
Yeah.
They have to weigh in so many people. But I mean, people are definitely gonna, if it's a 2 hour weigh in, people are definitely thinking twice about what weight they should go.
Oh, it definitely changes like what weight people go for sure.
Yeah,
A lot of them. But shoot, man, I mean, it's always rumors. It's always rumors, but I'm hearing rumors about kids IVing, using IVs after weigh-ins that night before and all kinds of stuff like that. But I just if you ask any coach in the country, like, hey man, what do you think about Super 32? Super tough tournament, but it's a massive weight cut tournament. And you either love that or you hate that, and it can be an advantage for you or it can be a disadvantage for you. But the reality is that like I most of your freshmen sophomores probably won't be wrestling anywhere close to what they wrestled at Super 32.
yeah,
They're just maybe some of your junior seniors are because that's how big they are. But I remember our first year going out there, we had a kid who wrestled 120 the year before, wrestled 132. He kind of grew naturally. I do think he was at the wrong weight, but the kid he wrestled first round wrestled 144 the previous year during his high school season, and he was at 132. And it looked like this dude wrestled 144.
yeah, for sure.
And that's just not a. So on the actual paper of that might be rare, but the optics of it are present everywhere.
Yeah,
They are present everywhere.
yeah,
So I don't know. I mean I'm like a I would even I don't love what Fargo does. I don't love the night before and then morning of 2 days later. But I
yes,
would I would I would even prefer that.
yeah. Because there's a barrier to just dropping all your weight
Yes,
one time.
absolutely. So I don't know. I'm so anti weight cut. It's crazy, like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what's the next closest thing to it is that is consistent is like UFC fights.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
I mean, I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah. But all right,
But
let's talk about the concessions. This drives me crazy. I've had this beef for a long time. You
let's
know
go.
what it should be?
What?
No food, no outside food or drink allowed in.
And they actually, this is the first year they've set up like real bag checks.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, it's why? Because when you go in there, okay, we are the epitome of health, both of us.
correct.
So when we go in there, if our only options are Dippin' Dots and chicken tendies,
They had They
We
had
eat nothing all day. We eat
they
nothing all
had
day.
oh that's I mean they had candy. They had other candies, but they also had what was it? It was funnel cake fries.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Is that a
they had
French
a
fry re-battered in funnel cake stuff?
no. I just think it's like a funnel cake cut up
Just
into like
fingers.
French fry shapes.
Got funnel cake
So
fingers.
instead of getting a plate of what can only be described as a remake of someone's diarrhea with powder on top of it, you can get that in French fry form.
It's more convenient. Perfect.
Absolutely. But look, I just why would you do that to the athletes? That's crazy. Because day two, did you look at the line day two?
No.
There
We
was at
went in
least
a
70, there was at least 75 people in line day two.
so you
And there
went to
were
the wrong line because we
no
went in and there was a separate line that was on the other side and we went straight in.
yeah, but there so this was like kind of throughout the day,
Oh, I got you.
right? So like at one point in time, the concession stand had 75 people in it times two lines. And
Oh, I got you.
I was just like this is just like to me it's borderline unacceptable. And then people were sneaking. This is my favorite. This is why I love people. People were like sneaking DoorDash orders in through the back door.
Yeah.
That's sick. I
Yeah.
love that. They
Well,
made an announcement. Please don't order DoorDash through the back doors.
yeah. Well, not only is it candy and funnel fingers, it's it's price gouged candy and funnel fingers.
Yeah, I did get a box of Reese's peanut butter pieces or whatever, Reese's Pieces.
Yeah.
Um, elite candy, by the way. But it was $5.
Yeah. It's wild. It's and then like so I was standing in line and a dude in front of me got Pepsi or a bottle of Pepsi. And they're like, "All right, that's 5.50." And he goes, "What?" He's just like, "What?" And they're like, and they just look at him. This is literally what happened. They look at him and go, "Welcome to the arena." I was like, "Why would you?" Uh,
Well, and then they're cashless now, right?
yeah,
So
yeah, no cash.
it's cards only, and then all their card readers have the like mandatory um
Tip.
tip, right? So it's like, do you want to tip 10%, 15%, 20%, or other? And it's like other, and then you have to type in 00, and it makes me just want to like I just type it in with my middle finger the whole time. Just just F you, F you, F you.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
So
the lady is standing there watching you do it, and you feel like a turd because you're like,
no.
well, I just feel, it just feels kind of bad because they're staring at you and they know, they know what you're doing.
Yeah, but like, okay, if I paid cash, I would have thrown my change down.
That is, yeah. All right. All right.
Because I don't want change in my pocket. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But now I paid $5 for $1.25 piece of candy, and you have the audacity to ask for a tip for it. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Get out of here. So I guess hot take, but
Probably
you
not a
know.
hot take.
So all right. Let's give me your score for Super 32 overall between a 1 and a 10. You cannot say 7. 7.0 to 7.9 is completely off limits.
Okay. The weigh-ins and the concessions brought it way down for me.
Yeah, dude, I respect that.
So I did a calculator because I'm,
Okay,
so I did a score for each, and when I averaged it, I ended up with 6.6.
6.6.
Yeah.
All right.
So, the level of competition I gave like a 10 or a 9 or whatever, and then schedule's fine, host city's fine. So those are like eights. And then concessions and weigh-ins were just dunked it into the crapper.
So we're actually not too far off here because this is if there was ever a time for me to actually give a 7, it would be this one. So I'm gonna give it a 6.9 because I just can't give it. I can't give it an 8. I cannot give it an 8
My
because
thoughts exactly.
the things that I actually value, um, they missed the mark on big time.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can find that competition multiple more times a year.
Yeah.
It's just not that many kids. You know what I mean? So like in the past, Journeyman has offered you 3 or 4 of those place winners. What's the tournament during season? Ironman offers you that level of competition. You know what I mean? So Fargo offers you that level of competition. Vegas Trials, if you're in the gold pool, 16U and junior duels can offer you that level of competition. You know, so it's not like it's your only option to wrestle good kids. Now, is it one of your only options, folk style wise, to wrestle something like that? Historically, it has been, but we'll see where some of these other things evolve into. Um, but I guess my general consensus is that like in the Midwest at least, how we feel about it is how they feel about it. You know, like we we go because our best kids want to go, but it's not something that we're super excited about.
Yeah. And I agree.
So, all right, 6.9. Nice.
So
Six 6.6.
if we average ours, what is 6, 7.5, six seventy
Yeah,
five?
sure. Yeah, 6.75. Oh, you know what though? Okay, so here,
Oh my
this should be
god!
added. This
What?
should be added
What?
though. Like the what you get for winning it should be a part of this, right?
Oh,
So
the
the Super
belt's
32
sick,
belt is super sick.
but it doesn't put it to an 8,
It can't.
and we can't use 7s.
I know.
So guess what your
We
answer is?
6.9.
Shut up.
It is a 6.9.
Yeah. So the belt is sick. The only thing that compares is the Winter Nationals chain. We all know that.
The Winners National chain is super sick.
Next level.
It's super sick.
Okay.
I am sad that tournaments have gone away from like 7-foot trophies.
Yeah, just oh, the ones you got.
Dude,
Yeah.
my brother to this day still holds the record for biggest trophy. We used to like pick our tournaments based on what the trophy was. So you used to go to a tournament and then these other tournaments would like set out what their trophy looked like to attract you to come to it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I definitely had a better wrestling career than he did, but the one tournament that had like the biggest trophies of all time, I got smacked at. I got like third place at, and he's just like, I'm getting that trophy, rolled through everybody, pinned everybody in like 40 seconds, and the trophy was as tall as him, and I was like, just devastated. And then we never went back. So
Yeah.
he definitely has the biggest trophy of all time in the family.
Nice.
So, all right, moving on.
Yeah, we got hustle up.
What are we at?
58.
58. Okay. Well, it's our first one, so
Yeah, well, I
we're,
mean, I'm good. I'm just letting you know.
yeah. Well, let's do this. Let's do this first. Let's do our answer the internet, and then we will do our one. We'll do our thing that highlights the rabbit hole website.
Okay.
Okay. So our wrestle the internet question. Okay. We didn't have any questions from the internet, so I kind of put this to some of our kids, and this is the question we got back that I really liked. If you could attend a wrestling clinic by any wrestler who has ever existed, who would it be?
Okay. So I have two answers. The first one that popped into my mind was a
Okay,
Kale.
hang on.
Okay.
No, I want you to pick one, and then you can be like, if I can't get that one, this is what I would settle for. You have to rank
Well,
them
there's a
one.
okay. Okay. Satiev.
Okay.
Buvizar Satiev. Or I mean, okay. I mean, I'd also go to Adams. So uh Satiev would be the one. The only reason I would pick a different one is I don't speak Russian yet.
Yeah.
So
Well, you
like,
got.
yeah, I just watch the whole time. But if he stands up and talks for a little bit and I'm just fucking lost, it's not ideal.
Yeah. Who's okay? Who is your backup?
Sanderson because he speaks English.
Yeah.
So
He's not. He doesn't do very many.
yeah, not anymore.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, unfortunately, I think we're on the same page here, but I'm going to
Yeah.
use a different one. I'm going to use a different one. So I mean, it's a current situation right now, right? Like we're going to have recency bias because what's happening is um, being reflected in what we're coaching and stuff like that as well. You know what I mean? So it would be it would be really well. Satiev is still active. He's still coaching. You know what I mean? But like it, I don't think it would. I don't think it would benefit us that much to go back and talk to somebody who's like not alive and has been like dead for a long time. You know what I mean? Like you could pick Abe Lincoln, but what you're you
It's
know
not the
like
same.
that's a it's not the same. No, not at all. So from a pure from a pure learning standpoint about some things that I feel like maybe I don't understand real well, I would probably lean a little bit more towards whoever the head coach of the Japanese team is right now
Yep, I figured you were going that way.
because they're
Yeah.
doing some things. They're doing some things one I really like, but two, we're only seeing them do. So
Yeah.
I'd like to get into some. I would love to go to a philosophy class with whoever is in charge of the current Japanese system because they're just crushing.
Yeah, they had a
Um,
great Olympics.
fantastic. They had a great one. And are they being highlighted because other countries aren't there? Possibly. But the guys who did really well, I think, are still medalists no matter who's there.
Yeah. Second and third place for sure.
Yeah. Well, like first, second, or third. Like I
Well,
still
yeah,
think
yeah,
that
yeah.
you still have to wrestle a tournament, but I think for me it would be like a philosophy based thing in terms of like, hey man, how are you doing this? How are you implementing this?
Yeah.
Right? Um, I think that would be super interesting. The
Yep.
other the other side of me would really like to talk to some of these people who have. I mean, imagine how difficult it is to get your entire country on the same page, right? Like I would love to talk to them about how they're making sure because I know Japan has four uh like Olympic training centers. Um and I know they rotate their guys throughout the country throughout the year as a way to like prevent them from feeling stale or stagnant or things like that. So I'd love to know how they're getting all of their um, training centers to be on the same page and operate cohesively. I think that's really interesting as well.
Yeah, that's definitely a good pick.
Yeah. So I don't think we have bad picks though. I think that
No.
you're looking for nuggets of gold from gold miners.
Seems to be a good place to look.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So um, I don't know. Maybe we'll clip this, put it on the internet. People might have different answers. We'll see. I'm sure someone's got something we didn't think of. You know,
Yeah.
but as far as where our interests are, this seems to make the most sense. You
Yeah, I
know,
agree.
I know you've got a little Russian flag under your USA flag, so
No.
niet. This guy says niet.
No. Uh,
So, all right, moving on. Here's our last segment. So, if you guys don't know, and if you're still here, right, and we can chop these up and get them out, but Jake has developed a website called the Wrestling Rabbit Hole, and he has this little backdoor function that he's created kind of just for himself. That maybe he'll release at some point, or it might be part of a subscription base moving forward. But basically, what
yeah.
he can do is from his website, he can basically just hit a button and it will generate a random clip from his database. So, are we watching it right now? Or are we doing a new one? This is it.
Yeah, so these are just random ones. I have one pulled up to the side for us just so we can.
Okay.
So yeah, you
Yeah.
just you know,
Just refresh. So
and then it comes
Jamalov
up.
versus Fine Silver,
And then this obviously doesn't look great, but these are the skills that are in the sequence,
two
and then
on
it just
one
plays.
double leg.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
So
was nice.
I kept this one up because it seemed interesting, and if it's random, we might not get an interesting one. I have no idea what it's going to be.
True. Okay, so we've got India versus Iran.
Yeah,
I'm
and
not
this
saying those names.
well, it's Sharvan and Imami. Nobody says. Everybody cuts off half of all the Iranians' names for some reason.
Right.
Yazdani.
Shaban and Tupapi Imami.
Okay. Uh, so this is what we ended up getting.
Low single. Bud red.
Oh,
Little neck wrench.
oh, he's so sad.
Just instant pinned.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, oh, he was losing. Okay, so
He
he
was
was down.
down. Yeah,
He was down. Okay, I was not
but
paying attention to that. Five to
he
two.
was down 5-2,
There's
and
45 seconds left. Oh no, there's so much.
yeah, dude, this guy.
No, there's 45 seconds
Yeah, there's
left.
45 seconds left. So
Very nice.
yeah.
Assault.
Just where's it go wrong? Oh, he's behind him.
Yeah, he went around the hips.
You got to stay in front of the guy, buddy.
This is classic Lily Luft, you know?
Got to stay in front of the guy.
Little leg kick all the way through. Oh, yeah, just instantly done.
Yeah, he's at. I'm gonna lose.
Sad.
India's hype back here.
They are. What year is this? 2017 juniors. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these are U20s. 60 kid. Imami, what's he wrestle now?
He's 74. He's wrestled Sidakov a couple times.
Yeah.
He's good.
Yeah.
He's got their whole underhook system. He's got really good duck unders.
I like that. Shaban, sure. He just kind of disappeared, huh?
Yeah, they all seem to. Whoops, they all seem to do that. I don't know, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah.
India's in a weird place.
So if you're looking for more stuff like that, you can find his name. Click on it. All the matches I have on here. You click on one, and then it gives you timestamps.
That's nice. Oh, arm spin, drag, go behind.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Arm spin, counters
Float.
to drag, hip. Simple.
Nice.
Wait a minute. Oh, it's defense. Good defense.
That was super good defense.
Good defense. Arm straight in between. So.
Yeah, that was incredible. Good job.
Yeah.
Way to go, Imami.
Yep. So.
All right.
I guess that wraps it up.
Yeah. Well, so I think what's our plan for this? Where are we gonna go? One a week?
Yeah, we're gonna try to go one a week. I'm not sure when they're gonna be released yet. They're definitely gonna be recorded on sometime during the week, and then hopefully Tuesdays, and then.
Ideally, we can get them recorded Monday. We want it to be pretty quick after the weekends. It just depends on if we're traveling home Monday. So
yeah,
you know, in the future, hopefully we have a Tuesday or Wednesday release. It just all depends on kind of how much time we have to put into chopping it up and stuff. But yeah, I think look, we're gonna do this for a year, pretty much. And if it's dead after a year, it's dead after a year. But we'll give it the old college try.
What is that? I hate that phrase.
We'll give it the old college try.
What does that even mean? It doesn't.
You know.
What does it mean?
We'll attempt.
Yeah, but this is a dumb way to say that.
All right. We'll give it the old Hodges try.
I don't like that either.
So we're not trying anymore. This is our last episode. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, see you guys.
Yeah.